It is said that you first eat with your eyes. That's probably why most of the MasterChef contests give a lot of weightage to the final dressing of the dishes. While the screen is your window of engagement with your laptop, there is rarely any discussion in terms of the specification of your laptop, besides, of course, the screen size that you want to buy. And hence, today I thought I will talk about the various specifications or the parameters on which you can look at a screen and which can differentiate one model from the other and could even differentiate probably a brand from another. Hi, my name is Deepak and I run a company called Nurture IT, which focuses on giving you the right IT and telecom solutions for startups and scaling up SMBs. So let's look at this various specifications that a screen comes with. Full HD is the term which is most commonly used in defining a laptop or a TV screen itself. Full HD basically defines the resolution of the screen. So what's resolution? Resolution is basically the largest number of distinct dots or pixels that you can place along the panel both horizontally and vertically. The shortest or the smallest distance between two dots or pixel of a screen. Just to give you an analogy, when you're looking at a car coming from a distance, the two headlights seem to be a single headlight. It's only after it approaches you much more that you are able to see these two headlights as two distinct ones. That's exactly what resolution is all about. Like I said, it's the shortest distance between two dots or pixels that makes them two distinct objects. The higher the number of dots or pixels in a screen, the better the resolution, and hence the better the quality or the sharper the quality of the image or the movie that you are watching. Most of the current laptops come with a full HD screen, which is 1920 pixels horizontally and 1080 pixels vertically. This is also called a 1080p. The next higher resolution you get is 2K, then you have 4K, you also have 8K resolutions. Whether it's a TV or a laptop, they're fairly similar in terms of resolutions. General purpose laptops are good enough with a full HD even for watching a movie or something. The higher resolution screens normally are associated with higher end laptops or special purpose laptops like your gaming, graphic design related, video editing related applications. That's when you find these because obviously they come at a higher price point. Ever thought, यार उसका स्क्रीन मेरे स्क्रीन से सफेद bright कैसे? This is basically another parameter that defines the screen, which is brightness, which is defined in nits. A screen which has got about 300 to 400 nits, you would consider it as a Tidewala screen. So this is the kind of screen that you might need if you're working always under direct sunlight or even if you are working in a very bright environment. Most of the common laptops or the laptops on a general purpose laptops come with anywhere between 220 to 250 nits. The next we're going to talk about is your viewing angle. The earlier generation laptops used to come with screen technology called twisted nematic or TN. The limitation of these were that they had a very low viewing angle and also that the color reproduction was not too good. And these have more or less given way to the new technology called IPS. Till recently, however, they used to find their way in some gaming laptops because of their low refresh rates, which I will talk about a little later, and obviously at a lower cost. These have now given way to the new technology called IPS or in-plane switching. These come with a much better viewing angle, close to 180 degrees, without any blurring of the image when you view it from the sides. These also come with an excellent color reproduction, so you're able to see the images much better in terms of color, vividness, etc. However, a limitation of these was in terms of the poor refresh rates. There have been enhancements in the IPS technology where you are getting very low refresh rates currently in some of the screens and monitors. Since the color reproduction is very good, these would be the ideal screens that you should look at if you are in the say media industry, or whether if you consume a lot of content. So there is also a go between the TN and the IPS, which is called the VA, or the vertical alignment type of screens. As I said, since they are a trade-off, they have refresh rates which are similar to the TN but have enhanced in terms of the limitations that TN had. So they come with a better viewing angle and a much better color reproduction as well. The next enhancement on the screens is called the OLED, or the organic LED. LED, as you know, stands for light emitting diodes. This is a technology that was developed by LG, and sometimes it's also referred to as IPS on steroids because it gives you a much better color reproduction as compared to IPS, still retaining the same quality of viewing angle. The LED here is built with an organic material which gets lit up when current is passed through it. Since these are thinner than the IPS displays, they have led to probably a size 0 LED, OLED TVs and monitors and screens themselves. Another big advantage of OLED is that the black is much more vivid on these screens than any other screens. A limitation, however, on the OLED is called the burn-in. The burn-in is primarily happens when the same screen is on your display for a very long time. For example, your Windows home screen, if it is there for a very long time, there is a burn-in that happens. So even when you open another application, you have a ghost image of the Windows home screen there in the background, which may not be very convenient. A Samsung equivalent of the OLED is called the QLED, or the quantum LED. They say that it is about 30% brighter than the OLED. Probably the most overlooked factor of any screen is the color gamut coverage or the color accuracy, because this is normally a point of consideration of only the graphic designers. The more colors your panel can output, the more vibrant it will appear. In a laptop, we measure every laptop screen's ability to reproduce all the colors in the sRGB gamut, which is rather a limited set of colors. The best laptops can reproduce over 95% of the sRGB gamut, and many even exceed 100%. Few manufacturers disclose their screen gamuts on specification sheets. A 72% NTSC gamut measurement is equivalent to 100% on the sRGB. Some of them also use a Pantone validation for their color gamut. So I do hope whatever information I shared with you today is useful, and I'd be curious to know if you've ever considered these parameters while making your laptop purchase. If you need any help in terms of deciding what's the right model for your usage, you know whom to reach out to.